Hello there, I'm Scotty, you're not, and welcome to Martial Arts Month. That's right, martial arts. Something different. I said in my explanation video, my intro video, that I was doing this. It's very much off the cuff, out of nowhere, but I found that all the Kickboxers sequels were on Tubi, as well as most of the American ninja movies, and I want to do something. So this is what I have, which will start with the revisit review of Kickboxer, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme. Yes, released in 1989, and starring Jean-Claude Van Damme. And Kickboxer tells the story of Kurt Sloan, whose brother is horribly paralyzed in a kickboxing fight. And so Kurt is trying to find a way to get revenge on the man who did it to him. And that's the movie. This is basic, it's a basic martial arts movie plot. In fact, I feel like, if you watched Kung Fu movies in Japan, or China, you would probably see this premise a lot. Something happens to someone's loved one, they gotta get revenge, they gotta train to do it, that sort of thing. I like to say Rocky took inspiration from that as well, because think about it. What's Rocky for, but kind of the same premise? Apollo Creed gets killed, Rocky seeks revenge against the one who did it. The third Rocky film as well has some kind of science too. Mickey dies of a heart attack, and Rocky loses that fight, but then gets the rematch and ends up winning, doing it for Mickey. So it's more Rocky 4 than Rocky 3, but you know what I mean. And this came out after 89. So yeah, so Jean-Claude Van Damme plays Kurt Sloan. He and his brother, he tours with his brother. He is sort of like his ring man. He walks around with him, it's like a manager type deal. And it is very much Eric Sloan who is the fighter. He becomes the world kickboxing champion, which I'm assured is a real thing. But, he becomes world kickboxing champion and is told, hey, why don't you go to Thailand or Thailand, where the sport was invented. So he does. And he ends up fighting Eric ends up fighting in a underground kickboxing fight against their big champion guy, Tong Po, who already looks ridiculous it's one of those hairstyles where he's bald except for the ponytail thing, like Bianca Belair's ponytail thing, but no other hair. I like to know how they got that, how you get that to work, how that works, because it's confusing. Not only that, but when they start to fight, he has what looks to be like a broken tennis racket on his head. A tennis racket without the basket lines or whatever they're called. I don't know. It might be traditional thing, so I'm sorry, but it looks weird. I think you can put that on in wrestling games last night. I think. But yeah. And so before the fight, Kurt happens to witness this guy just pretty much demolish this pillar. A stone pillar. He kicks it and it basically brittles. Doesn't fall to pieces, but there's a little bit of crumbling going on. So he tries to warn Eric, and Eric's like, nah, don't worry about it. I got this. You don't got this. It's basically Rocky 4. He's telling, hey, yo, brother, you sure is a good dude. Don't worry about it, Rock. Don't worry about it, Stallion. Don't worry about it, Stallion. I got this. Don't worry about it, Stallion. You don't got this. Unlike Apollo Creed, though, Eric does not die, but gets paralyzed. However, there's one big difference between Rocky 4 and this. Kurt actually doesn't die. He throws in the towel. And then Tong Po kicks it back out elbows him in the back, which breaks his spine. Now I know this is an underground fighting thing. When you're throwing a towel, that means the fight is over. I know it's probably not a sanctioned fight. It's probably not a big, it's an underground fighting ring. So all this is probably not legal. But still. Yeah, and then they get the best care available, of course, by just putting him on a stretcher and then sitting him outside the door. Yeah, poor Eric is laying there on a stretcher outside the door and they don't do anything. Luckily for them, an American man named Taylor comes along and offers them to give him a ride to the hospital. And this is where Kurt finds out that Eric is going to be paralyzed for the rest of his life now. So, sulking and stealing with revenge, he tries to find Kurt, tries to find anyone that will train him. He wants to be trained in Muay Thai. They won't. No one will train him because he wants to take on Tong Po, and everyone knows that's a fool's errand, so it's not going to do it. Until he meets one, Jian Chao, which I'm going to be referring to as Chow. Chow, he goes to Chow. Chow, sort of rebuffs him on the training thing. You have to go to the store, you have to get stuff from me, that sort of thing. And that's where he meets Chow's niece. And he saves her from these two thugs trying to rob her store. And she scolds him for that. Oh, no, it's just going to be worse. I'm just trying to help. Well, you made it worse. After seeing this, though, Chow does agree to train him. So Taylor takes him and his stuff there. He stays with him. And we get the training montage type of situation. He's training him some weird unconventional ways, that he's trained, like putting meat on his legs and having him chased by dogs. Yeah, that's, Rocky had to chase chickens. The other Van Damme movie had him blindfolded. Honestly, I think Daniel's son had it easy. He just had to wash windows and shit. And wax cars. Paint fence. Yeah. And so, to further the training, though, we get the dance sequence, which was on when I did my video. Ooh, the dance sequence. So, they go into this bar, and he gets Kurt to start drinking. And then they play the music. Come on, you get that. You want me to dance? He starts to do the dance. Whatever he does. You've seen that dance in many dance montage videos. Yes, he gets to dance. And then, so Chow goes out and he says something to these guys, right? The guys come in and start kicking his ass. Kurt's ass. But try to. Because Kurt kicks their ass. And then he comes out and he goes, why'd they try to attack me? And he's like, oh, I told them that you said you were a better fighter and that their mother had sex with a mule. Like, why you told them that? So they fight him. So, yeah, his training gets him to the underground fight. He agrees to the fight. But it turns out Tong Po has Eric captured, I guess. And so he's got him into fighting. He put the thing on him, and then they put it in the glass. It's really weird. It's an underground fighting. Who am I to question? So during this fight, we see both them, like, mostly Kurt, get their ass kicked. Kids' ass kicked. Also, like, the niece is there. The niece, not Denise. The niece. Chow's niece is there. She says she loves Eric. Or, not Eric. Kurt. Was that... I don't remember ever seeing any more scenes with them. Unless I missed it. Maybe there was. I think I missed it. Who knows? But it's just like... Oh, Kurt, I love you. I'm just like... Is that nowhere? He's getting his ass kicked here, but okay. But... It's during this that Chow and Taylor go and free Eric from his captivity, and they can really start saying their, white warrior in their language. Suk me something, I don't know. Suk me sao or something like that. This gives him the strength to fight, and he just goes nuts. He's like, cut the ropes. Because he had these ropes to run these things. Cut the ropes. Just do it. So he cut it. And he, like, I mean, as soon as, like, because Tong Po is charged right at him, so he's like, he's coming. Just do it. And then he turns around and just kicks him in the face. And they have this just kicking his ass, just beating the hell out of him. And it's a weird transition because he beats him. And as soon as he beats him, it just transitions to the end song. So he beats him and he goes, it's like, boom, and never surrender. It's like, okay, we don't get a time to pause here. Everyone's celebrating. They're all so happy. Yay, we did it. Then the second one happens. I already know some of the second one, what happens. So, but yes, this is still enjoyable. This is still really good. This is one of Van Damme's better films. It's no surprise that both Van Damme and Seagal's earlier careers are much better than their later careers. You know, Van Damme has some hidden gems in his later career. Like In Hell is pretty good. And there was one more. What was it? Not Derailed or JCVD. JCVD was disappointing because it's not what I thought it was going to be. What was it? I don't remember. I hear The Bouncer's good. I have yet to watch that one, but maybe that's what I'm thinking of. But I haven't seen it yet. But yeah, But Seagal went down the toilet, whereas Van Damme is still somewhat decent in his roles. But I feel like earlier Van Damme is best. And this is one of the best. I'm going to say actually a Kickboxer is pretty good. It's got double good martial arts. If you love 80s, this is one of those, it's 89. So by then they were in full 80s mode. Montage songs. Because the beginning of this starts off with the fight. And then as they said they're going to go to Thailand, we transition to Thailand with a very 80s montage of them going through and looking at the landscapes and stuff. And then after he finds out that his brother is going to be paralyzed for the rest of his life, we have another 80s song. And there's another one. The whole dance scene has a very 80s song to it. So it's very 80s. Right? It's very 80s. But I like it. It's a great start to the Kickboxer movies. By the way, that picture looks familiar to you. Yeah. But, yeah. So what are your thoughts on Kickboxer? Let me know in the comments. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Scotty. And I'll see you in the next one.